Hey, welcome to Tarot After Dark. I could have sworn I had StreamYard all set up for this. I'm usually on the ball and ahead of the game. And then I just kind of realized that maybe I better get on live. And I didn't set things up ahead of time. So I'm a couple minutes late. But if you're watching this part, you're watching the replay and you really don't give a flying beep. And that's totally good. So tonight, this is going to be a short Tarot After Dark because I'm feeling a little tired. I almost didn't make it. So on to the live stream. So I'm here live. If you're new to Tarot After Dark, this is where my tarot enthusiasts come on board. We grab our tarot decks and we play with tarot. Justin, hey, how's it going? Jamie, hello. Thanks for being here. Totally screwed up, figuring I had this all set up and I didn't. So 2 cards, just as I'm flipping cards out, I've got the 6 of Pentacles and the 2 of Cups, partnerships, helping each other. Thank you for someone being here because it's always nice to not talk just to myself. Reciprocation. Thanks for being here. I am using my Tarot After Dark deck. I don't have a Tarot After Dark deck. Should I create a Tarot After Dark deck? I'm using my Light Seer Tarot deck because I'm a bit tired tonight and I almost didn't make it on the live. And, you know, when you're feeling a little not up to par, it's nice to fall back on things that are familiar. This is why it's so good as you play with your tarot deck. Have one that you play with on a regular basis so that it becomes your friend. It becomes your teddy bear and it's familiar and you're used to it, right? Oh, thank you. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. And because I'm kind of not feeling like I'm like tuned in, tapped in, and boop, connected to source, I'm reverting to a deck that just comes very easily to me. I did promise myself that for February, I'm going to push myself and use some of the other decks that aren't getting quite the love, you know, my tarot shelf here. But like I said, I'm a little tired. We're going to go a little slower today. And I do want to pick up from where we left off last time, which is about how to go deeper with tarot readings. And I covered a few things in the last one. And tonight, I just want to say that sometimes we just need to slow down. And we need to take a look at that one card to begin with and just notice what you notice. So I'm going to ask for the collective. What do we need to know right now? Super general, which is great. If you're ever pulling cards and you want to know about something specific, ask about that thing. What do I need to know about my job? What do I need to know about that car I want to buy? What do I need to know about Elliot's teeth being cleaned? He got his teeth cleaned today for the first time. He got a good bill of health, which is nice. And a naturopathic teeth cleaning with homeopathy. There was no sedation. Yeah, it was really good. He had a good time. I'm very happy that his teeth are in good shape. So what do we need to know right now? Ooh, High Priestess. I could use some of that energy flowing right now. Breathe that in. So like I said, going deeper on readings, the first thing you got to do is start with one card. It's like reading a book. You start with the first sentence. And if you don't know what that first sentence means, you do one of 2 things. You reread it or you move on to the next sentence in the paragraph to see if it starts making sense. Tarot is very similar to that. Choose your own way of doing it. And hey, switch it up when you need to. That's why it's always nice to have a few different ways in your arsenal to change things up. So when I see this High Priestess, by all means, add your comment, what you see in this card. And this is going to be kind of one of those, you know, write in the comments what you see. Let's find 5 things in this card. Okay. So the first thing I noticed was this stream of energy. It's pink. Okay. It's got sparkles in it and stars. It almost looks like it's a not a constellation, like a nebula or something like that. Galaxy. That's what I'm thinking of. Galaxy. So that's the first thing I noticed. And how did it make me feel? Well, it made me remind me that source, we need energy to help give us energy. It helps us to assimilate our surroundings, our thoughts, our feelings. I also noticed she's wearing a moon on the top of her head, and there's also like stars and things coming down. So that's the second thing I noticed. Second, can't see me if you're on. And next I noticed that she's wearing this like scarf around her neck, and it's around her throat chakra, and it's the color of blue, which is what that chakra vibrates at, that color spectrum, that color vibration, when it's in harmony with all of the other chakra centers. So that's 3. 4, I noticed her earrings. She's got like some drop earrings. What I pick up from that is being aware of how clear your hearing is and your listening skills. To me, that goes along with the throat chakra. It's not just about speaking. The biggest part of speaking actually is listening, is taking in that information, is listening to other people, so we can determine whatever they're saying and have a conversation with them based on that. And we interpret things in a different way. And my ex interpreted things way off sometimes. So it's having that form of communication that you can, test it and say, oh, is this what you mean? I'm hearing this. Is this what you mean? That sort of thing. So how many was that? 1, 2, 3, 4. So the fifth thing that I'm noticing right now is the color of her hair. So she's got auburn hair. What does that mean to me? Well, I'm just thinking right now, it means that it's a color that isn't as commonly known as other colors. So maybe this is somebody, it relates to somebody you know. Maybe it's that fiery energy. Maybe it's just representing the color of fire. Perhaps it's that fairness, because often if someone has auburn or red hair, they're very fair-skinned. So delicate complexion. You've got to be careful of all of that sun energy. These little things that I pick up. Trish, how have you been? I've been missing. I've been worried about you. I was wondering if there was a way to get in touch with you, because I'm like, I missed you. You've been away. I hope all is well. Yeah, the auburn flame. Yeah, I could pick that up too. The black and white veil looking energy, holding the sides of the pink energy. Yeah, I like that. Thanks for beauty paint. I love it. Yeah, so that to me represents that yin and yang energy, that light and dark. Tarot in the daytime, tarot after dark. Ha ha ha. And it also represents that balance and how we clash. My arm was getting tired from holding that up. I'm really in rough shape today, and that's totally okay. The blush of dawn or dusk. Exactly. So it is that delicate portion of time, of energy. Gotta switch hands. This card's heavy. It's like Elliot, tarot pup. He's really, really heavy for 10 pounds. So now that's a lot of things we've noticed. 5, 6, 7 things we've noticed so far in this deck. The 8th thing is the blue in the card. I know the color might be off a bit, but it is blue. It's a really nice like turquoise blue. That's just after or before the golden hour. The blush of the dawn or dusk. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, it could be cyan. It feels like, personally, I love this color. I've always been drawn to it. If there was a whole splash of colors anywhere, I'd always be drawn to the blue thing. But it's, pay attention to what you picked up first, because maybe that's the little thread you pull that's going to start unraveling what that message is for you. Also, her eyes looking open even when they're closed, that inner vision. Yes. Yes, that's totally what High Priestess energy too. She's using her inner eyes, her inner view of everything. I'm also noticing all of the wisp of energy. Yes, we've talked about the black and white, but there's this wisp of energy around her. It just signifies being in flow, and she could either be just in that flow herself, like receiving like an energy shower, or she could be the one conjuring this energy up. So it really depends on what's what. I saw an amazing shade of cyan. Yes. I love it. I've seen it on the ocean, and it's like, wow. Hey, Lady Divine, just stopping by to say hi. Got to cook dinner for the kiddos. Well, thanks for stopping by. I had to quickly cook dinner beforehand too. Thanks for stopping in. The energy is flowing around her. Yes, it is. Sometimes it feels like she's conjuring it up. It also depends on the cards that are going on around it. There's so many ways to interpret this, right? So many ways. And intuitively, what I'm picking up is that we all have this energy within us. This to me is the female counterpart to the magician energy. And, maybe because it's the very next card on the Fool's Journey, after meeting the magician, then he gets into this energy of, that divine feminine counterpart, right? So this has the energy of self-love. I'm picking up on the pink that's flowing in, and that's kind of the theme for February, love, but I like to say self-love. And this is you knowing what's best for you. And sometimes we have to have boundaries. We have to have the ability to have that darkness that enables us to say, no, not right now. This isn't for me. People need to know what your boundaries are. And sometimes it's tough to say no. People ask, well, why not? You just need to say, it just doesn't work for me. Well, why doesn't it? It just doesn't work for me. We don't have to give people explanations for things a lot of the time, right? When we were younger, we did. We had to bow down to the adults and do what they tell us to do and give reasons for things. But as adults, we don't have to buy into that energy. Okay. All right. I'm going to pull another card now. And if anyone has a tarot cards, you want to pull a card to complement that High Priestess. I've been really annoyed by repetitive sounds lately. I had my table's moving a little bit. My desk is moving a little bit. And I have this black tourmaline rock that's kind of unbalanced, and it was going it was kind of bothering me. Hypersensitive to energy right this minute. I guess that's what happens when I get tired. So let's pull a card here to go with the High Priestess. Okay, 2 cards want to come. We have the Knight of Cups. Perfect energy for this High Priestess as it relates to self-care. This is someone who traditionally wears their emotions more openly, more animated. And look, this one even has a horse in it. So you're the fire horse. We're almost upon that part of our adventure. Sometimes the Knight of Cups represents like traditional love. Maybe this for you, a message for you, it relates to romancing somebody or having them romance you. And if not, it's you being kind to yourself and romancing yourself, if that makes sense. Trish got the 10 of Swords. So that's an interesting combination. Any insight about that? I see it as, it's the end of that negative thinking. It's the end of thinking of that you are not you specifically, but people are not they're not putting up with things like they used to. They're being a little more careful and in tune with their own needs, and they're not willing to compromise them. That's what's coming to me. End of a cycle. Yeah. Say goodbye to that one. Another card also fell out, which I love, is the Star. This one can say, follow what, how am I trying to say it, Lorraine? That's what happens when I get tired. My brain, it's in here. If I could just plug it in and let you guys watch what's going on. It's like, follow your North Star. It's like, this is your navigating instrument. This is what you base your compass on. This is something that's guiding you forward. You need to trust it. Yeah. I also like to, how does it relate to the cards around it? It totally makes sense. Protecting your peace. Yes. Yeah, that's a big one. Definitely big boundaries there. A time to move on from something that's happened. Yeah. And it was Swords. So that's definitely thoughts, intellect, situations, for sure. And this Star is reminding you that there's a bigger picture to things. Even if we're going through something that's uncomfortable and something that might be making us feel out of alignment or making us react in a way we don't really want to react, like get angry or whatever. This is reminding us that there's a bigger picture, and we need to keep coming back to the things that make us feel good and feel happy. We've got to exude that energy. So it's not just about us, it's about those we connect with, our loved ones, our friends, the people we hang out with, the people we randomly meet at the superstore or when we're driving. There was a few people today on my travels that just kind of were budging their way in, and past low would be, like, what the heck? I just kind of slowed down, let them in, and they actually waved, where a lot of times they don't. They'll budge in and they won't even wave. So just giving ourselves a little more time to enjoy the process and enjoy things makes a big difference in your overall energy. For Beauty Paint, got the 3 of Swords in reversed. Maybe using my intuition to pull through painful lessons. Yeah. Oh, I like that. I love that interpretation. Yeah, I don't even think maybe. If that's what you picked up, then that's exactly what you need it to be. And often those lessons, because remember, they're still swords, which are beliefs, thoughts. So the things that are keeping you in fear or in heartache or focused on the pain, it's about just releasing that, so then the healing can happen. I love it. Pulled the High Priestess too. Awesome. Not sure how true these pulls are. I've not touched them in a while. They might be off. No, they are what they are. I mean, how do we gauge true or not true? It's what you feel in the moment that really matters, right? And that's just matching this same energy. So trust your high priestess energy, trust your intuition. And yeah, we can all feel off for sure. That's why I'm reverting to my Lightseer deck, because I'm feeling a little tired tonight. Oh, I love that. Fear is redundant. Mic drop. It kind of is, right? I love that. And it is. It keeps us repeating shit all the time. Because we're afraid to face things, or we're afraid of confrontation, or we're just, I don't know, fear of the dark. I love that. That's interesting. Fantastic. Brilliant shade. It's kind of an oxymoron, isn't it? I love it. All right, let's pull some more cards. Let's see. So we're trying to go deeper into what the cards mean, but it's not about what they mean. It's about the reading, going deeper into a tarot reading. So I'm going to pick this one here. Oh, I love it. Page of Pentacles. This is trusting. Even if you don't have the experience you want to have or feel like you should have, you've got to trust where you are. That's how you grow. That's how you grow straight up, instead of meandering back and forth. Like if you were a tree trying to look for the brightest thing and go that way, and oh, now it's over this way, and just not really allowing yourself to be fully grounded and focused on what you can accomplish yourself from where you are. You know, it's one of those things, like when you first want to get a job, people want you to have experience, but you don't have experience because it's your first job. So it's kind of, you know, you're stuck. So competence comes first. Sometimes before you have that ability, you've got to trust. Maybe it's not confidence in I can do this. It's a different confidence you've got to gain from that. It's like, I can take this first step because I trust myself. I have skills in, you know, it could be I got a gift of the gab. I can speak to people. I can easily talk to people, or, you know, whatever it might be for you. It's having that initial confidence that really centers you. So then you can try things that are new to you, and you're okay. You're not afraid to fail. And I think that's where that 3 of Swords comes in, not having that fear of failure, because when you fail, you learn more than when you succeed at something. Often, if you just succeed at something all the time, your ego just gets big. Your head gets so big, you can't fit through the doorway. And then something goes wrong, and then everything collapses. So failure first helps you learn and grow, helps you see, oh yeah, we don't want to do that again. That sucked. Or it'd be like, oh, well, I learned a different way to do something. So it all depends. Just got the Page of Cups, a clarion call, perhaps. Interesting. We both got pages again. Yeah, I love that. Justin, a wishful calling or sending a heart message. Yes, I love that. Yeah. Hey, love you guys. How about that? All right, let's pull another card, see what comes. Lovers, look at that. This is an interesting card in this deck, because it usually comes up not in a love reading. It usually comes up and it kind of makes no sense if you were to think of this as lovers being for lovers. 9 of Cups, many callings. Oh, 9 of Cups. Yeah. Trusting what you're feeling. Trusting what you're picking up. Seeing a woman at the end putting all hopes and wishes with. Yeah, I love that. Putting all hope, her wishes with. Yeah, it's almost like it's one thing to wish and hope, but we don't want to put our life on hold for things either, right? I feel like pulling the book out for this one for some reason. So we're going to do it. I like this because it has these affirmations in it, which I kind of zone in on those. So the affirmation, my heart is open to deeply meaningful relationships, and I expand into this union with loving trust. I love that. So, this isn't necessarily romance, right? This could be duality, but it's finding that harmony. Sometimes we think of duality as this against that, but it's not. It's like this where there's black and white. The duality is that both exist. They don't necessarily have to get along, and they don't necessarily have to conflict with each other. I see new hope and new ideas coming to you. I love that. In the Lover's card, I see taking on new ideas and ways. There's hope. Yeah, that's beautiful. I love it. I love your insight, Trish. Yin and yang. Yes. Balance. Yes. It's an intersection of ideas and identities. Yes, I love that. You guys are on the ball tonight, which is good because I don't feel like I'm tired. And excuse me, yawning on a live stream. That's pretty bad, right? I'm going to pull one more, and you can pull clarifiers for yourself if you want. And this is how to maintain the energy you're trying to shift to. Because we all know when we're learning something, we can only do it so long, and then we've got to stop. And then we feel like we might be going back, starting at the beginning, but we're really not. We need to take a break and take a pause, and then we can continue. The thing is, we sometimes think that wherever we paused at, we can continue right from there. But no, it's like a book you haven't read in a while. You open the book where the bookmark is, but you've got to go back a page or a paragraph or two to kind of catch yourself up with where you left off. And you've got to be okay with that energy, right? Thank you. Same to you. I hope you're having a better week. Not that you had a bad week last week. It's always nice to improve ourselves. So what do we need to help us stay on the path? And 3 cards came. We've got the 9 of Swords. We've got death and rebirth. And we have strength. Don't we all need that? Let's tap into that. But we're going to start with this first one. We've got to deal with the demons. Okay, we've got to deal with the thoughts that get in our way, and we've got to honor what our hopes, fears, and dreams are. We've got to realize that a lot of them aren't from us. We've been conditioned over the course of our lifetime up until now to believe, to think in certain ways. And this is not blame, because the things that we were taught were meant to be put into place to protect us. Parenting doesn't come with a manual, unfortunately, yet at least. Maybe ChatGPT will come up with something eventually. So a lot of the stuff that we might believe or think about is things that have been put on us or conditioned us to. It takes a bit of time to undo that conditioning. So you've got to be gentle with yourself. You've got to take rest. You've got to allow one thing at a time and not worry about trying to change everything and change the world, right? So that's the seven. No, that's the 9 of swords. I'm looking at Trisha's 7 here. 7 of cups. Yeah. How do you want to feel? You get to choose. Choose your adventure. I like that card to be. Bombarded by external forces. Yeah, you can see it as that, but that also feels like it's a bad thing, where sometimes the stuff we're taught, it might not be a good thing, but at the same time, it helps us determine, do we like that? Do we not? Sometimes it forces us to stand up for ourselves, even though we didn't really want to. Now I got to say something. I wished I didn't. Typical introvert, anyways. But that's where we learn to use our communication skills and that sort of thing. 7 of cups, new choices. Yeah, I love that. That's great. I see a message of hope here. Yes, definitely. Because that's where this death and rebirth card comes in. And I really love that she puts rebirth on there too, because it is letting go of what no longer serves us. It's saying you can't come back from it. Okay. It's like the 10 of swords you got earlier, Trish. You can't come back from that. You're not meant to do that thing. It's not meant to be resuscitated. Death is about shifting vibration and shifting the energy from the way it was to something new. But we've got to be willing to let it go. And in doing that, we've got to go through the grief process. Grief isn't just for grieving people who've passed away either. There's grief for so many things, for moving, for changing jobs, for, dynamics and friendships changing, for selling your car that you really loved. Thing like nobody can judge someone else for what they grieve or how they grieve or how long they grieve. So you've got to honor that. And you've got to be in a state of clearing that leveling that field, so you're able to sow new seeds of hope. And see, that's where what Trish was saying is coming into play here. Is rebirth. That's hope. That's spring starting to come. Today was such a beautiful day. I stood outside and it actually felt warm. And I know if it keeps going like this, we're probably going to get a frost in that. But I know those little crocuses are going to start poking up out of the soil. To remind us the hope of spring, even if we do get a dump of snow eventually. I'm so busy yapping, I don't see your guys' comments. New opportunities, new choices, making a new future as inventing it. Yes, inventing it as we go along. I love it. Justin says, I feel it's false love, like there's stand outside of the fire of love, the feeling, but turns into despair or deceit. Well, it's all in how you interpret it, I guess. I think it depends too on the situation. And it's only we can control what we feel. We can't control what other people do. So if it's definitely something that's sucking your energy, sapping your energy away, then it's like, yeah, it's time to go. That's where it's like, sayonara. I'm going to go somewhere where I can reinvent the energy I want to create. And for beauty, paint got 7 of cups in reverse. So Trish had it in regular, you got it in reverse. Using discernment when choosing what to spend energy on. I love that. Yes. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we don't know just by looking at it. We've got to touch it, feel it. We've got to experience it for a minute. And then we have the discernment to go, no. Or, oh yeah, double down on that. Love that. Yes, any loss. And we can't judge people for what they grieve. Or, it's kind of like people who, someone's pet passes away and other people are like, hey, it's just an animal. And, but you can't do that. People feel emotions. It has nothing to do with anybody else. The full moon was the snow moon. Yes, it was in Leo. It was a healing moon. It kicked my butt a day or two after, for sure. Not the day of, for whatever reason, but the day or so after, oh man, I haven't been able to sleep properly. Uh yes. Depends on who you're with. Yeah. Well, we also empaths, we take other people's energy on sometimes. We can learn to be impervious. It's one of my favorite words when it comes to energy, being impervious to other people's energy, just kind of putting yourself in this beautiful Teflon bubble or what have you, however you want to envision it. It changes for me depending on who I'm dealing with. Um, all in how you look at it. Even Mojo agrees. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just how it felt for me there. Kyle, hi. It's me again. It's you again. Hi. Good to see you. So we have the strength card is the last card, and who doesn't want some strength? Strength sounds so much better than courage. I think in can't remember what deck. The Crowley type deck. I can't remember what the name of it. It's sometimes it's named Lust, which I could never figure out. But perhaps it's just having that discernment. Someone said that earlier. Discernment on where you spend your energy so you make sure you have the strength when you need it. Speaking of which, need to hydrate. And sometimes it takes the strength is and the courage is in backing off and not being all in someone's face. That sometimes is the easy thing to do when, the energy is flowing. Trish says, so the moon cyan lady was about letting energy wash over you, but not through you. There she is. We're calling it, she's not the high priestess anymore. She's the moon cyan lady. I love it. Staying true to who you are. And that's interesting because sometimes that's a challenge, and that's where you need the strength, because it's so easy when you're feeling a little off or you're tired or you're just so done at trying so hard to be this person you want to be, that you start kind of reverting back to who you were before. You start getting complacent with the things that you're doing. Well, that's how you kind of build the habit up. And you've got to be okay with the backslide every now and then. We're only human. We're human. We're not meant to be machines that can just be calibrated and then cranked up and go. We're going to have those moments of vulnerability and weakness, and it makes us fall back to our old patterns because that's what we're used to. It's kind of like me feeling tired today, so I fall back on using my favorite card deck instead of pushing myself too much. And we've got to be okay with doing that. Yeah. True. Well, everybody, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you being here for Tarot After Dark. I'm going to say goodnight. I'm going to take some time and relax and hopefully sleep tonight. So I hope to see you next week as well. We have Tarot Tuesday at 11, and then we have Tarot After Dark Thursdays at 6 p.m. And I hope you have a fantastic week. And actually, before we go, I want to pull one more card just for the collective here. It's always going to do this. It's got to pull more than one card, but I'm going to just choose this top card, and it's perfect because it's the Six of Wands. This week, do something that feels good to you so you can go, I did this. I'm good at this. This is in my wheelhouse. I know how to do these things. That's what the Six of Wands is coming through for me today to say to you. Honor who you are, celebrate who you are, and not just to yourself. Tell people how amazing you are, and find the people who say, yeah, you are. I agree. Those are the people you want to hang out with more and more and more. Oh, cool. You pulled that one too. See? It's meant to be. It is. Thanks a lot. Nighty night. Bless you too. Stay true to who you are. I saw that earlier. Thanks for being here, everybody. Thanks, Trish. I missed you. We'll talk to you next time. Have a super rest of your week. Peace.